Clearly, we are aware, right? Everyone's aware they're in this room. Everyone is aware that you have a body, and that whatever it is, you're aware. But you are awareness. It's not that you're aware, and awareness becomes some object. You are awareness itself, and yet you're aware, and you know. So awareness knows. Knowing, where I come from, is the supreme intelligence, sometimes called the I or the One or the Self, capital S. And so awareness is knowing, and awareness could not know without self coming forth from its depths, the first light. So I'm speaking in that term, and that will take us the rest of our lives to go into, in fact, eternity, with no beginning and end, because it's what we are. So awareness is awakening to its knowing, its real self that came forth to give it awareness expression. But awareness tends to, in the human body, focus on a subject having objectivity. It tends to focus on experience, good or bad, positive or negative, like or dislike. And so it gets focused on a particular sense of me. But when awareness begins to return to its heart of knowing, it breaks the attachments. They begin to dissolve many different ways. You struggle with that, particularly in terms of your relationship with others. If you were knowing the other at the level of their being, there would be less struggle. In fact, there would be more union. And so when awareness pulls away from focusing on a sense of self, it awakens to it knows direct. So when awareness is truly being to knowing what it knows directly beyond all its sense forms, it makes sense of knowing. But that will change your forms of experience. You'll have less control of the forms of your experience as a self, but you'll have more command or ability to move life as a being. And that will start to integrate in your sense of self, in your sense of person, until you realize you are moving the universe and you're the one creating the forms of expression. Less and less will you need to experience to tell you what you are. More and more you'll move by knowing, but you'll still have a sense of experience, but you won't belong to that experience. It's phenomenal. When you were a baby, you didn't have a sense of person or a sense of self. You were just in the delight of being, and the delight of being that anything you touched was a form of your innermost reality. You didn't know forms as a subject and object. That's why we love babies, because they're so sweet and innocent. And when they touch something, it's completely owned. Not owned as a self, but it's what is manifesting in their own awareness, in their own being. It becomes magical for a child. Can you remember this when you were a child? Even a stick was magical. The most simplest things were magical, because it was a movement of your being coming into form. Follow this? And our biggest struggle when we were kids is letting go of that sweet innocence where everything belongs to what you are, but to being told you can't do that, you can't have that. You have to let that go. Do you see what I mean? And we knew something different, but that's a stage of development. When we're awakened, we come back to that innocence, and we know that all things are ours as awareness knowing. All this is forms of awareness. When we really begin to get that, then something will change.